We are continuing with the chapter of telecommunications and networking. And to the best of my knowledge, the last topic that we finished was virtual private network. That was different types of telecommunication network based on ownership. Am I right? Right or wrong? Okay, we are now moving to the next topic. We are now moving to the next topic, and that is called as network topologies. We are moving to the next topic that is called as network topologies. Now, to begin with, what is a topology? What do we understand by the term topology? Topology refers to the physical arrangement of computers. Topology refers to the physical arrangement of computers in a local area network. Now, whenever you are watching a cricket match, you see Mr. Dhoni, captain of the cricket team, he is marshalling his resources. Means suppose there is a swing bowler, then he will keep 3 slips, then 1 point, a gully at cover, 1 fine leg, deep square leg. So this is what we are making the arrangement. We are arranging the fielders. Suppose the bowler is a slow bowler or he is a spin bowler, then maybe slip is not required. The field is spread out. So he is seeing to it that at what position what fielder is standing. In the same way, whenever we are placing the computers in a specific way so that they can be interconnected with each other, that is referred to as topology. So topology is the physical arrangement of what? Obviously of computers. What more we have to arrange? Of computers so that inside a local area network. Now, there are different types of topologies. Every topology having its own advantage and disadvantage. Let's start with the very first topology, who will be having more of disadvantages and less of advantages, right? So when we understand the disadvantage of a particular topology, a new topology comes up so that it can remove all the deficiencies of the previous one. It is said in Hindi, आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी है. It means necessity is the mother of invention. In the same way, bus topology came up. It was working fine. There were some problems. So a new type of topology came up. Now every topology have its own advantages and disadvantages. Now, any organization who feel that one particular topology's advantages are more than the disadvantages for them, obviously they will be installing that particular topology, no matter if the disadvantages are more for some another organization. So let's start with the very first type of topology, and that is called as network topology. In a network topology, you have a cable. You will be having a cable. Now this particular cable is very, very important cable. It's like the highway, a very important road, right? And this is called as, technically it is called as the central trunk. It is called as central trunk. It is the backbone of the network. And all the nodes will be connected to this specific trunk using a connector called as T connector. It is also called as BNC. It refers to British Naval Connector. Now what exactly is this? Understanding T connector is not difficult. You must be knowing a profession called as plumbing. Okay, they use such type of T connectors. Like for example, your Chennai, this place or this metropolitan city might be having a very, very big water tank. And from that water tank, a pipe comes down and it is below the road. And those societies, those apartments who are residing or who are constructed along that roadside, what they do is they cut the pipe and they put a T. So what happens when a T is installed, the line is re-established and one line in our society. So our society will be having the water connection. Obviously this is legal and it has to be done only after the permission from the corporation. Same will be done by some another society. Same will be done by all the societies. So how do they get connected to the main line? With the help of T connectors. Same thing will be happening over here. Okay, one particular computer will be connected using a T connector. Then another one, that's maybe called as node 1. Then we have node 2. Then we have node 3. We have node 4 and one more node 5 and one more node 6. Getting it? Now this particular type of a topology will not be having a dedicated server. I mean to say, you need not buy a bigger system. You need not buy a mini computer which is bigger in size, having more memory, having more storage space, having a faster processor. You need not buy. What you can do is, one of your nodes, you can convert it into server. So the architecture of this computer and the architecture of all the other computers will be almost same. Okay, same processing power, same storage capacity, everything will be same. But we will just create one server. We are not buying the server. We are just creating one of the nodes, or we are converting one of the nodes as server for just controlling the traffic. That's it. Now, this is how all the components are connected with each other. Now, how the data transmission will take place? In a bus topology, data transmission takes place through the server. Say for example, now N5 wants some data. So N5 obviously will be requesting the server, because server is supposed to serve everyone. So the data will go to the server. Now suppose this data is not available with the server. Anyways, it is named as server. It is not necessary that all the data should reside centrally in the server. So this server is searching for information. It goes to N1. It goes to N1 and it will try to find the information. Suppose it is not finding it. It goes to N2. It is not finding. Goes to N3. It doesn't find it. Goes to N4. It will not find it. It will go to N5. And if the request was generated there only, then what is the point in doing that? Suppose Raj is asking me one doubt. Okay, I'll clarify your doubt, and I am asking the same doubt to him. Tell me what is the answer. It makes no sense. So it goes to, suppose, N6. Now N6 is having the answer. Okay, now common sense says that transfer the data in this way, right? But everything has to pass through the server. So it will go this way, the server, and then from server, it will come to node 5. Understanding? So don't you think unnecessarily there is the transferring of data? Okay, this is, we can say, one of the drawbacks of bus topology. But let's talk first about the advantage. Very simple installation. One line is required to be maintained. And you can go on adding nodes to it. Obviously, go on adding nodes to it means it depends upon the capacity of the server. Okay. So there are some limitations, and it depends upon the capacity of the server. Then data transmission is fast, even though it is repeated, but it is faster. Adding a node and removing a node is very simple in bus topology. Just you have to put a T connector, add the node, connect it to the server, get an IP address, it is done. If you want to remove it, just remove it, finish. Adding and removing a node is very simple. Then diagnosing the fault is also simple in a bus topology. Suppose there is a cut over here. It is quite obvious that N5 and N6 won't work. Okay, if there is a cut over here, then N3, N4, N5 and 6 won't work. So when your 4 computers are not working, you will easily come to know that this particular area is having certain problem. Now the major disadvantage is the way it is communicating, and if there is some problem in the central conductor itself, then entire network has to stop working. Entire network will come to stand and still. And that is nothing but the first type of topology, that is called as network topology. After this network topology, we are moving to the next one, and that is called as ring topology. It is called as ring topology. Now what is this ring topology? In a ring topology, a server, obviously here we have a dedicated server. A server is connected to all the nodes to form a loop. Here computers will be connected with each other to form a loop or to form a circuit. Means what? Here we are having a server. Here we have, say, node 1, then we have node 2, and we have node 3, also we have node 4. So how the connections will be made? Here the server will be connected directly to the node 1. Node 1 is connected to node 2, node 2 is connected to node 3, node 3 to node 4, and again node 4 to the server. So we are creating a closed loop. We are creating a circuit, right? Now, in this particular type of ring topology, the server need not know the address of everyone. Every node need not know the address of everyone. Here, every node or the server just knows the address of its adjacent nodes. Means the server will be knowing the address of N1 and N4. N1 will be knowing here there is server, here there is N2. N2 will be knowing here there is N1, here there is N3. N3 will be knowing here there is N2, here there is N4. And N4 will be knowing here there is N3 and here there is server. So each and every node along with the server knows the address of its adjacent nodes. That's it. Server doesn't know where N3 is. It just knows where is N1, where is N4. Now how the data will be transferred then? Data is transferred in ring topology using a concept of token passing method. Here data is passed in the form of packets, data packets, and a token will be attached to that particular packet. Now suppose server wants to transfer data to N3. So server will put the tag of N3 and it will send the data. It send the data means it can send data only to N1. So it is sending the data to N1. Now as soon as the packet comes at N1, N1 becomes very happy. Oh, packet came, packet came, packet came. It goes and lifts that packet and it says that there is the tag of N3, and so it is very sad. It is not his packet. If it is not your packet, you are supposed to send it further. Sending it further means N1 will be sending this particular packet to N2. Now N2 becomes very happy. Packet aaya, packet aaya, packet aaya. Then it sees that packet, but he is sad to see that it is having a tag of N3. So if it is not your packet, you are supposed to send it further. Same packet goes to N3 now. Now N3 is happy to receive the packet. It shouts packet aaya, packet aaya, packet aaya. Then it goes and lifts the packet. It is surprised to see that it is having the same tag N3. It is double happy. Mera packet aaya, mera packet aaya, mera packet aaya. It opens the packet and that's how the data is being transmitted from the server to the node 3. Now I am talking about a unidirectional ring topology. A ring topology could be bidirectional also. So this method of transferring the data is called as token passing method. It is called as token passing method. So this is how this topology is working. Now what are the advantages? We have removed this problem, unnecessary, everything was going through the server. Now that has been solved over here. So the data transfer in the ring topology would be faster as compared to the bus topology. Okay, but the problem is, if there is any problem in this circuit, suppose there is a cut over here, the entire network will come to standstill because the circuit is broken. Okay, because the circuit is broken, right? Then one more problem is adding a node and removing a node is also a problem. It's not like you just have a T connector, join a node and it starts working. No. If you want to add a node over here, then this entire remaining nodes have to be reconfigured. Suppose you are adding a node over here, but the N1 is knowing the address of only N2, then there is a problem. Okay. Now this becomes N2, this is N3, this is N4, this is N5. Suppose you are removing N3. N2 will be knowing only N3, na? If that is only removed, then the data is stuck over here. So again, this N4 is required to be reconfigured. So every time whenever you are adding or removing any node, you are required to what? Reconfigure the network. That is one problem of ring topology. Okay, and if a particular node is not working, how will it come to know that which node is not working? Because the entire network will not work. So it has to try different permutation combination. It will remove N1, reconnect the entire thing, and we'll check. So let's assume that N3 is not working. How will we find out? We will remove N1. Okay, we will reconnect everything and check whether the network is working. It won't work because N3 is not working. We will reinstall this N1, we will remove N2, reconnect and check. It will work? No. Why? N3 is not working. Now we will reinstall N2, we will remove N3, reconnect and check. Will it work? Yes. That means N3 is not working. Okay. Now just imagine if two nodes are not working together. Both the nodes are not working. Then it will be a very heavy job for the engineers. Checking all the permutation combination, N1, N2, N1, N3, N1, N4. Now suppose there were 25 nodes connected to this ring topology, just think how much permutation combinations you are required to do. And that is the problem of ring topology. So once you know the problem of ring topology, we are now moving to the next one, and that is called as star topology. Next topology is called as star topology. Now in a star topology, all the nodes, now there will be one server, there is no doubt about it. And all the nodes will be connected directly to the server. All the nodes will be connected directly to the server. And we have discussed this. When I started the topic of computer networks, we had started with the same diagram. The server is a central computer with more processing, blah, blah, blah. All these I have said. Now I am saying this maybe for the 10th time now. And all the nodes are connected directly to the server. So the greatest advantage is you need not use any common means. Okay, here central and common required, now it is not required. Circuit was required, now that is not required. Here each and every node is having its own separate connection with the server. So you can know it very well that this is obviously faster type of communication. That is the advantage. Now the disadvantage is this requires the cost. It is the cost involved in this is more. Why? Obviously because you are requiring a separate channel for each and every node. And the working of this node I have discussed 2 times. One while teaching you the concept of networking, and second time while teaching you client server method. Okay, that was one type of a networking. Same is been applied over here. That is called as a star topology. Now suppose if there is a cut over here, so it is quite obvious your N1 won't work because it is out of the system. And major disadvantage is, suppose if the server is not working, anyways, the entire network will come to stand and still. So we are having the next type of network, and that is called as mesh topology. We are having something called as mesh topology. Now, mesh topology means all the computers will be connected to all other computers. All computers will be connected to all other computers. What exactly it means? We have one computer over here, one over here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. Okay, let's call them as P1, P2, P3, P4, and P5. So P1 will be connected to P2, will be connected to P3, connected to P4, connected to P5. P2 will be connected to P1, P3, P4, and P5. P3 will be connected to P1, P2, P4, P5. P4 will be connected to P1, P2, P3, and P5. And P5 is connected to P1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, don't you think this is mesh topology? I'm sorry, don't you think this is peer-to-peer networking? When we are talking in terms of technology, this is peer-to-peer technology. And when the same thing we from the point of view of topology, it is called as mesh topology. And you know about this, there is no dedicated server. It is depending situation wise, depending upon the situation, one particular peer will be becoming the server, another become client. Okay, and the advantage is, see, all computers are connected to all other computers. So if this is not working, it is not like P5 is not connected to P1. It is having three alternative paths, this, and this. So this is called as connecting to a specific node by hops. This is called as hopping, jumping in a regular sense. So these are the four different topologies of what? Networking. Bus topology, ring topology, star topology, and mesh topology. Now, these are all old topologies, actually speaking, out of syllabus. Out of syllabus means it's not working now. Now we are having some hybrid topologies. Star and ring will be combined, bus and ring will be combined, all such type of topologies we have. But those advanced topologies is not there in your syllabus. So there is no point discussing all these things, right? So is this concept very clear? That was first topic for today, called as different network topologies. Okay, so you copy this down, and in the meantime, we will welcome our latecomers. Finished. We are continuing with the next topic that is called as transmission technologies. Transmission technologies refer to how the data will be transferred through a specific communication channel. Though we have seen various communication channels. Have we seen or not? I am talking specifically about wired communication. We have seen how various communication channels are present. Now we are seeing how the data will be transmitted between these channels. We will be seeing different aspects of transmission, and depending upon these different aspects, we have different types of transmission technologies. We will be seeing how the data will be transferred based on number of bits it is sending at a given point of time. That means how much data can be transferred at a given point of time. We will also see different types based on the synchronization between a transmitter and a receptor. Between a transmitter and a receptor. See, if the lecturer is very bad and if students are very good, they won't be able to connect. Because whatever is been taught, they are not able to understand anything. Yes? The second way around is, the lecturer is very good and students are not at all interested. Then also they won't be able to connect. The lecturer is not having the knowledge, he is not able to teach. Students are not interested in teaching, not interested in learning. Superb. The last thing is very important. Okay? The teacher, lecturer is teaching the things in an appropriate manner. Students are interested, they are listening and they are ready to grasp everything. Only in this particular option, there is a right synchronization between the sender and the receiver. That is the transmitter and the receptor. So this is the best combination for transmission of the data. So based on the synchronization between the transmitter and receptor, we will be having different types of transmission technologies. And last is the direction of data transfer determines what type of technologies we can have. Okay? So we are starting off with the very first one, and that is based on the number of bytes that are being sent. Okay, so now listen. We are discussing about data transmission technology, and the first bifurcation is on the number of bits that is being transferred. So based on number of bits that is being transferred, we have two different types of transmission technology. One is called as serial transmission and the other one is called as parallel transmission. Now in a serial transmission, there will be one single line of communication and one single bit will be transferred. Only one bit will be transferred. This is called as serial transmission. The internet connection line that you are getting, that you connect it to your computer or to your desktop or laptop, that is nothing but serial transmission. One bit at a time. It could come fast, no doubt about it, but at a given point of time, only one bit is being received. That is called as serial transmission technology. The other one is called as parallel transmission. In a parallel transmission, you will be able to transmit 8 bits at a time. That means it will be having 8 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And every line is able to transmit 1 bit at a time. This particular type of transmission will be called as a parallel data transmission, or it is called as the parallel transmission of data. So this is normally used when you are transferring data to the printer, and you can see it very well that data, the wire which is carrying data cable, okay, it is this big, or the width is very big, okay. So it is able to transmit 8 bits at a time. That is called as the parallel. And transferring 8 bits at a time is nothing but transferring one entire byte at a given point of time. And I need not tell you, 8 bits come together to form 1 byte. Okay, this is the first type of data transmission technology based on number of bits that is being transferred. Next is called as synchronization between the transmitter and the receptor. And we have again two types in this, that is called as synchronous transmission of data and asynchronous type of data transmission. Now what is synchronous and what is asynchronous? Now I will give you one example to understand what is asynchronous. Suppose Mr. Ram Prakash is typing a letter. He is typing a letter on computer, right? And this is not an official letter, okay, it is unofficial letter. And whenever you are typing some unofficial letter, you are required to give a deep thinking. You have to think about the right words with right meaning, and you have to place them in a correct manner. Then only you will be having the impact, otherwise it will be useless. Ram Prakash understands it better. Now listen, Ram Prakash starts typing, and the first line is very simple: dear, and whatever is the name, pet name. Now that will be very fast. Hey, that will be very fast. The process, how the processor will come to know that Ram Prakash has started typing. Whenever Ram Prakash starts typing, bit 0 is generated. 0 is the start bit. Okay, suppose data has been transmitted in this way from the keyboard to the processor. So first bit 0 will be generated. It indicates typing has started. Now whatever he is typing, obviously it will go inside in the form of binary digits. Okay, that is say 110101. Then it would be 11110001, 11001011, and so on. And when he stops typing, bit 1 will be generated. It indicates the processor that typing has stopped. Then Ram Prakash is thinking about something, some good words. Processor is also relaxing. Let him think. Then he gets some beautiful lines. He starts typing. Again, bit 0 will be generated. Some data will be punched in, and when he stops, bit 1 is generated. And this is nothing but the start and stop method of data transmission. Intermittent method of data transmission, where the transmission is not having any pattern. It can start any point of time, it can stop any point of time, because it is all depending upon mind. And human mind is different for different persons. Every mind is different in every sense. Such type of data transmission, where there is no pattern of punching data or transmission, is nothing but what? Asynchronous. It is called as asynchronous method of data transmission. After this asynchronous method of data transmission, we are moving to the next one, that is called as synchronous type of data transmission. Suppose you are transferring one file from your pen drive to your laptop or maybe your desktop, and you give the command of copying. Okay, that data goes very smooth. Okay, the data transmission speed remains the same. There is no starting and stopping. Once the data starts flowing, it will follow the same pattern. 4 MB per second, 20 MB, depends upon what type of transmission you are using. But it is same. If you see the progress bar, it moves smoothly. 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, and then it is going very smooth. It is not stopping and starting. Such type of data transmission is called as synchronous, where there is a specific pattern. Okay, it starts once, it stops only once, and that is nothing but what? Synchronous method of data transmission. So these are the two different types of methods, synchronous and asynchronous. If we consider a feature, that is synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver. And the last one is depending upon the direction. Now depending upon the direction, again we have three types. The first one is called as simplex connection. First one is called as simplex connection. Simplex connection refers to that type of data transfer or data communication which is having only one direction. Data will be transferred in only one direction. Like for example, someone is typing. The data goes from the keyboard to the processor, and that is the only one direction possible. Is the other way around possible? Processor is giving the data on the keyboard, and keys are automatically pushed up and down. Is it? Have you ever seen such thing? Now whenever you are taking a printout, the data always travels from the processor to the printer. Is the other way around possible? Putting a printout inside the printer, data goes to the processor, and from the other side you are getting a blank paper. It doesn't happen. So here data is transmitted only and only in one direction. That is called as simplex connection. Then the next one is called as half duplex connection or semi-duplex connection. Here both ways the data can be transferred, but at a given point of time only one direction is active. You cannot have both the directions active. The best example is walkie-talkie. Okay, two different individuals will be having the walkie-talkie. They tune at the same frequency. When one is talking, the other has to shut his mouth up. He's talking, and then he says over. When he says over, he should not say anything after saying over. Over indicates that the other person can speak. Then he will start talking. When he finishes off, then he will say over. When he says over, then he can talk. And this way, the communication is taking place. It is only one direction active, either here or either here. If both will speak, then the connection might be disconnected. And that is called as walkie-talkie. Or more importantly, it is called as the half duplex connection, semi-duplex connection. Third type is called as full duplex connection. In a full duplex connection, data can travel both the directions, and at a given point of time, all the directions, I mean to say both the directions are active. The best example is your cell phone. On cell phone, both are talking, both are listening. I don't know about listening, but both are talking. And many a times there is a fight over the cell phone. You keep quiet first, let me finish. And the other person, okay, you talk. That is because both are talking at a given point of time. But my dear boys, whenever you are talking to your girlfriend, even though it is a full duplex connection, technically speaking, it is only a simplex connection, because the data is coming only from one end. The other end data is not possible. The other direction is not possible. So that was nothing but the next topic called as transmission technologies. Are you understanding? Just draw this diagram if you want. And then we will go to the next part, that is called as network protocol. Serial, parallel, synchronous. There is no diagram for asynchronous. And there is no diagram for directions also. Finished? Previous one, time out. Which diagram? Finished? We are now moving on and starting with a new topic that is called as network protocols. It's also called as communication protocol, transmission protocol. So what exactly this particular protocol means? Now, I would like to start this topic by giving you one example. Now listen very carefully. We are driving on the roads. We drive two-wheeler, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, no, not three-wheelers, two-wheelers and four-wheelers. Now whenever we are driving, we follow certain rules and regulations. We are supposed to follow certain rules and regulations. Like, like driving from the left-hand side, overtaking from the right-hand side, checking out no entries, one-ways, no U-turns, yes U-turns, okay? All these things, please. No honking zone, all these things we are supposed to follow. And many a times we do follow. Do you know what is the reason for following all these rules and regulations? Some people might say, sir, it is for our safety. Accepted, you are absolutely right. Some people will say to avoid traffic congestions. Again, you are absolutely right. Some people will say, sir, to avoid giving fines to traffic police. You are very practical, you are absolutely right. But my conception about following the traffic rules is, we are following the rules and regulations of the traffic because the road on which we are driving doesn't belong to our appa. Am I right or wrong? It's a very practical approach. That road doesn't belong to my appa, so I am following the rules and regulations. If say Nanda Kumar's appa has gifted him a very big piece of land, say 100 acre of one big plot is gifted to him. It is just besides a mountain. And Nanda Kumar has constructed a bungalow at the last point, just near the mountain. So from the gate till the mountain, there is a 5-6 kilometer long road, which is obviously a private road. Now, do you think Nanda Kumar will be following rules and regulations of traffic over there? No. He can drive at any speed that he wants. It is his own responsibility. He can drive on the right-hand side of the road. Who will stop him? He will keep honking while driving. Who will stop him? And if he feels, he'll put his car in the reverse direction. He will put a reverse gear and he will drive in this way. Practice of reverse driving, you can do that. No one can stop him. No rules and regulations to be followed because the road belongs to, right? See, moral of the story is we are following the rules and regulations because we are sharing the road. The road on which we are driving is supposed to be shared with others. Okay? In the same way, whenever computers are getting connected to each other, the communication lines which are actually connecting them transfer all the data. Okay? And the nodes are actually sharing those telecommunication lines for transferring data. And that's why these nodes, obviously along with the server, is required to follow certain rules and regulations. And these rules and regulations are referred to as protocol, network protocol, transmission protocol, communication protocol. So what is network protocol? It's a special set of rules and regulation. And these rules and regulation governs the communication between computers. Now are you understanding? There are two different types of transmission protocol. One is called as TCP/IP and the other one is called as OSI model, Open System Interconnection Model. What is the difference? TCP/IP protocol will be used where will be used where computers are connecting to each other within the network. The data is not going outside the network. Or to some extent, when similar type of networks are getting connected to each other, there we can use a TCP IP. Similar network means similar architecture, similar topologies. When the similar type of networks are connecting with each other, we are using TCP IP. But when two separate models, separate topology, separate architecture type of computer is getting connected to each other, separate different type of computers are getting connected to each other, then TCP IP won't work. There you require an open system interconnection. That means a computer of any network will be able to connect to a computer of any other network. To understand this better, okay, when you are driving in Chennai, you are following certain rules and regulations. Now that is bare minimum, okay, because you are driving within Chennai and you know Chennai very well. Suppose a person from Chennai is driving in Mumbai. He won't have major problems because the rules and regulations are almost same. So this is called a similar network. But if you are driving with an international license in United States of America, you will feel their rules and regulations are more. Still, you will feel the rules and regulations are more over there. Why? Because that is a totally different type of network. So when our network or a person from our particular rules and regulations is driving over there, he has to follow certain more rules. So when you are talking about TCP IP, there are only 5 set of rules. And when you're talking about an OSI model, there are 7 set of rules. These set of rules are often referred to as layers. It is often referred to as layers. And layers are one above the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Now the upper layers are connected or they are answerable to the user. They are more concerned with the user. And as you step down, a layer below it, you are going nearer and nearer to the hardware. That means the lower layers will be concerned more with hardware and the upper layers will be concerned more with the user. So now we are trying to understand the TCP IP type of transmission protocol. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. It is also called as Transfer Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. This particular type of rules and regulation exists for those networks who are similar in nature, or it is being used by those computers who belong to the same network. It's all about how the data will be formatted, how the data will be addressed, how the data will be transmitted to the right destination, how it will be routed. It is not necessary that you have only one single road to reach the destination. Okay, there are n number of roads. So which exactly road you will take and how will you route your data packets? That has been decided, that has been defined by TCP IP. And how it is received at the destination. All these definitions are given by TCP IP. So let's start off with the very first layer, and that is called as application layer. See, the name itself is suggesting something. Application is that particular part of software which is used by end user. So don't you think this application layer is nearer to the user? Right or wrong? This application layer finalizes the user interface. User interface is nothing but how the user will see the data of a computer. And that is, there are different types of interfaces. A graphical user interface is a very simple interface. You need not worry about the things. Everything will be placed before you. You just have to click and get the work done. Whereas the character-based interface would be a bit difficult. So it is the application layer who decides the user interface. User interface means how the user will communicate with a computer. It is about the support service. Support service means there are various applications required by a user. Like emailing is one application, downloading is one application, Playing online game is one application. Communication online is one of the applications. So what application is required by the user? Okay, this rendering of service will be seen by the application layer. Now when there are two applications, how the data is communicated between different applications, again that will be seen by a application layer. When the data is being transmitted, how the data is delivered to the destination computer. A destination computer means receiver. That is the end user. So how the data reaches ultimately to the end user. Again, it is been defined by the application layer. And then obviously it has to interact with the layer below it. So application layer is communicating with the transport layer. See, every layer communicates with each other. They have to do that. So application layer ultimately will be communicating with the next layer. The layer below it is called as transport layer. Now, what is this transport layer? Transport layer decides, finalizes the data flow between host and not nodes. Host is server. How one server will talk with another server. These rules and regulations are defined by the transport layer. It also sets timeout. Now what is this timeout? This timeout concept I'll explain you with the help of an example. It is very simple. Listen. It is decided, today is Sunday evening, it is decided that evening 6 o'clock, Janani and Mr. X will be meeting at a specific place. Okay? She's happy about it. So they'll be meeting. And I said, boys are always very innocent. Okay? They will come at 5:50 and they'll wait. Okay? And they will be having a big smile on their face, thinking about the nearby future. Wow, they will roam around, they will have a very good time with each other. They'll be having a big smile. 5:55, 6 o'clock, it will reach up to the ears. But due to some reason, Janani is not coming or Janani is late. 6:05, 6:10, 6:15, it is converted into frown. But no one will wait till 6:15. Immediately they'll pull out their cell phone. Janani, where are you? Are you coming or not? Then she will reply, coming, not coming, reaching in 2 minutes, I didn't got the cab, didn't got the rickshaw, didn't got the bus, something like that. There was a breakdown of vehicle. Coming, Baba, coming, hold on. Now, here with this example, I won't be able to explain you this concept. The same example, if we consider before 10-15 years, when I was in my college days, if the same, first listen and same concept, if I explain from my time, then you will be able to understand this from my perspective. Okay. Personal experience, you can say no problem. You will be also doing the same thing. Okay. So it is decided that we will be meeting Saturday morning 10 o'clock. And we were not having interaction like you. Suppose it is decided that these two will be meeting. After the decision is final, after that also they will be communicating on their cell phone. SMSs, then your WhatsApp, communication is constantly on. But in those days, there were no cell phones. So once it is decided on Wednesday, we are meeting on Saturday, then 2-3 days, that is Thursday, Friday, you have to dream about it. No communication was possible, no cell phones. Okay. Landline phone was there, but it was not, landline phone was available. But it was not available with everyone. Like in society, one person will be having a landline. So what am I supposed to do? Call that person, neighbor, and tell her that call Miss so and so. It doesn't look good, no? And if it is not at all necessary, we won't call. Okay.